Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today. We'll have Red Raider softball with Jerry Glasgow tonight at 6 o'clock on both Double T 97.3 and 92.3 The Hub. The Red Raiders will be in action tomorrow night.
There are three.
Tomorrow night against Tarleton State as they take on them at home. It's shocking. They haven't been home in quite some time. But that's partly because of trying to have a tough schedule and partly because of how the Big 12 schedule has fallen for them. So we'll have that tomorrow, and then they're home on Thursday to start a series with the Baylor Bears. They're coming off of wins over Arizona State this past weekend. They won 3, and they won the Big 12 softball championship. And so they're now looking to put some more skins on the wall and get themselves a good RPI and see if they can host not only for the regionals but for the super regionals. Regionals is a foregone conclusion, I think. Supers is the one that's up for question, right? Regionals foregone conclusion.
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Unless you failed miserably down the stretch here somehow.
Yeah, which that would be catastrophic at this point. Was not what you wanted this weekend over at Dan Law Field at Rip Griffin Park, losing yesterday 11-2. Saturday 9-8, and then Friday getting run ruled 16-6 in 7 innings. So, man, it's just I guess the frustration continues, doesn't it, for the baseball team?
Sure, yeah. I mean, frustration, disappointment, injuries just racking up. Not pitching well, partly because of that. Not hitting well. It looks like some of your hitters are, let's just say, not as excited to be there as they once were, and so it a lackadaisical effort at times at the plate, which is maybe the most disappointing thing. And at the same time, you got guys out there that are busting their butts, playing their hearts out, and giving you all the effort that they could possibly give you. So it's just, again, the injuries to the pitching staff are just debilitating at this point. You already were a thin staff, and you're up to 6 guys that are out right now. And, that's where the new rules of, you have to have the limited rosters is really hurting this team because, in the past you maybe had a guy that you were going to redshirt or whatever that you could bring into the fold, or it's not like the major leagues where you lose a pitcher and you're like, okay, we'll bring one up for the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. Or even high school ball when you're like, hey, well, let's bring a JV kid up. You lose guys, you just lose them. I mean, you have a roster that you're allowed to have, and now you're 6 pitchers down. And so you're trying to fight your way through it. And again, I think, I don't want to make excuses for the hitters, but I think the hitters, some of them it's just been mentally exhausting to them. And I think that's why we've seen some of these hitters maybe not compete as well as they did early on in the season. That's disappointing. But again, you'd see other guys out there, and the Logan Hughes and Tracer Lopez's of the world are, they're playing terrific right now for the Red Raiders, showing great leadership and great effort and all the above. It's just there are too many guys that aren't there alongside of them.
And yesterday, from the pitching standpoint, that it might have been kind of what you were just speaking about, where you give up 5 runs in the 9th, you went into the end, you went into the 7th, down just 4-2, and at that point in time, all the runs were based on home runs. You had single shot home runs by Oklahoma State, and the Red Raiders had gotten a 2-run home run in the 4th inning, and so you're at least in kind of position to get one, but then you're just not able to fight off Oklahoma State.
They scored 2 runs in the 7th on a ball that bases loaded double play ball, and you don't make the turn, and not only do you not get the out over at first, but it allows 1 run to score, but it gets past the first baseman, allows 2 runs to score. And that was just crushing, just mentally, just because, again, it's a play you got to make, and you didn't make a play. And then you get to the 9th, and you're just, I mean, the same thing happened on Saturday, where you're trying to stretch guys. You're trying to get guys to pitch a little bit longer than they have in the past, and even though you know, hey, their tank is running empty, you're having to leave them in there. I thought Logan Addison threw terrific on Saturday afternoon, and he ends up, I mean, the coaching staff has to leave him in there because you just don't have as many guys. And his career high had been 32 pitches, and he ends up throwing nearly 50. And the last 10, it was rough. Yeah. And you're just trying to stretch guys out because you don't have the arms. And, it turned bad for the Red Raiders after they had a lead.
Could you explain the double play at the end of the game? I know Jeff explained it yesterday, and I was following along with it because I was working on Saturday, so I did not see the play happen. But can you explain what happened with Quintanar at third base and that whole situation there?
Well, I mean, basically, if you interfere with the defender, then they can call the hitter out. And Quintanar did not slide to the bag. He slid way past the bag. And because of that, you're allowed, just like if let's say there's a guy trying to steal second. So he takes off from first, but the hitter swings and gets in the catcher's way, they can call the runner out for interference. Okay, even though their third baseman had no play to throw to second or to throw to first, because Quintanar did not slide to the bag and slid way past the bag, which clearly shows that he was intentionally trying to, slide hard into him, then the umpire has the ability to say, well, that the hitter is out too, the runner towards first, and that was what was called. It was, I mean, Quintanar's a hard-nosed, old school style of player, and that's an old school style of play there, but it's a bad play. It's a bad play. It was the right call. It was 100% the right call, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. It's just, again, you love his effort. You love being tough and playing that old school way, but it's the right call. And as far as the frustrating part is that he had no play at second or at first. I mean, that was the only play. Nobody else was going to get out, which just makes it even more frustrating. But right call by the umpire.
6:40 this morning here on the morning drive, and that ended the ball game. And the Red Raiders lost 9-8, and stranded an opportunity there. Didn't get an opportunity there to
also
score.
Also didn't get a bunt down that inning.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The NFL officially recognizes the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
Wow. I know it's called the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I didn't realize it took till 1961 for them to say, oh, yeah, there's that.
1966. Texas Tech scores 14 in the first, and Dave Cullerman and Pat Abbott earn a 5-inning no-hitter to beat West Texas State 17-0. 1973, Kansas City Royals pitcher Steve Busby no-hits the Detroit Tigers 3-0.
I miss him on the broadcast. I thought he was really, really good.
He was good. I think their current guys are good,
yeah,
too.
They're good. Yeah.
1983, Nolan Ryan becomes the strikeout king with 3,509, passing Walter Johnson. He'd have a few more.
He would, yes.
1994, Twins righty Scott Erickson no-hits the Brewers 6-0. And in 2019, junior right-handed pitcher Caleb Killian led another strong effort on the mound, and junior Josh Young finished a triple short of the cycle as the number 15 Red Raider baseball team pulled away with a 10-2 victory over number 16 Oklahoma State to clinch the series victory. It is National Prime Rib Day.
Okay. You a fan of the prime rib?
I'm not entirely sure I've ever had it. It's an expensive cut of meat.
It is. I don't think I think I've only cooked it once.
You used to get a lot at the tailgates because people were trying to impress you, and it worked.
Yes, that's true. We had to, the Red Raider tailgaters, we had to grandfather it in as just that it was, because they were so good at it, we couldn't allow them to submit it anymore.
I always felt like it's good. It just, that's my whole deal with steaks. I mean, it's good. I enjoy it, but like there are 15 other cuts of steak that I also think are good, and I enjoy it. And so the thought of paying huge amounts of money for a certain style of steak is just, it's just not me. Because they're all, I think they're all good. They're just none of them just jump out in front of the others. Yeah.
Happy birthday today. Ray Hayward turned 65. Jenna Coleman is 40, Corey Seager 32, and Herman Edwards is 72. And on this day in 1805, after marching 500 miles from Egypt, U.S. agent William Eaton leads a small group of U.S. Marines and Berber mercenaries against the Tripolian city of Derna. They were on a mission to depose Yusuf Qamariyani. No way I got that right. He was the ruler of Tripoli at the time, who had seized power from his brother, Hamid, who was a sympathizer with the United States. This would be the U.S. Marines' first battle and the first raising of the U.S. flag on foreign soil, and where the line from the shores of Tripoli come from in the Marine Corps hymn. I will try to remember the halls of Montezuma when it comes around for the Marines. And that is this day in sports history.
Oh, this day in sports history. Thank you, Jeff. 6:49 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. I missed this over the weekend, but one of our texters did not miss this. But Tyree Wilson, who was picked in the 7th overall, excuse me, gotta make sure I'm right on that. A couple of years ago in the NFL draft has been traded.
I think 7th was the number.
The number. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. He was traded to the New Orleans Saints on Saturday. They traded him for a 2026 7th round pick, along with a 7th round pick in exchange for a 5th round selection, which Vegas used to draft a safety later on. Man, that's a pretty fall from grace for him. But both sides and his current, staff with the Raiders didn't draft Tyree Wilson. But you're absolutely right. That's a far fall from the 7th pick in the draft to get a 5th rounder. Yeah. Now, for him, this next year, the general manager of the Saints, Mickey Loomis, says the trade is a 1-season commitment for the team. He said it's a 1-year trial, and we'll see how it goes. He has a 5th-year option, which would be a lock for $14.475 million for the 27th season. But if he turns in a good year, he could get himself a bigger contract next time. But I mean, it's really on the line for him this next season.
No question.
So he's got to, and he was the 7th overall pick in the 2023 draft. So the new Raiders VP of Player Personnel says we're going to say it was just an opportunity for a fresh start for him, fresh start for us. Phone was ringing throughout the entire draft. When that call came in, we looked at where we were as a team and the decisions we had made in free agency and the draft. We felt it was an awesome opportunity for him and for us. We wish him all the best. Okay, so there you go. Somebody else points out that the Saints also have a recruiting assistant who's a Tech alum and worked with the football team. Okay, I mean, there's always somebody that's hopefully campaigning for you, in the back, and maybe this will be a better start for him. Better opportunity for him. Let's see. lots of things on the chat line with regard to baseball, and it's frustrating right now. I'm sure it's frustrating for everybody. I'm sure it's frustrating for Coach Tadlock. I mean, you're in an unfortunate position where you may not make the Big 12 tournament, and nobody saw that coming at the start of the season.
No. Nope.
So, it's I guess just one of those things. I mean, it's just tough. But there are injuries. There are things that have taken place. So I don't know. I didn't realize that nobody wants to hear excuses or reasons or things like that. They just kind of look at it and go, "Why aren't we better?" Well, there's so many different reasons for that. And Jamie's listed.
There's one massive reason.
Yeah. There's one massive reason.
Yeah. But nobody wants to hear it.
Nobody wants to hear it. And, somebody said this about, I know Chuck doesn't like to talk about it enough. Money plus the right transfer portal equals success, asked Tadlock in Glasgow. I mean, we've talked about that. We've talked about that before. And there's so much truth in that. We understand that. It's just kind of the way it is right now. You don't have enough money for your baseball program, and you've poured a ton into your softball program. And you look at what you've got with softball right now, and let's just be flat out honest. You wouldn't have the success that you have if you hadn't poured the money that you poured into it. And you're not having the success in baseball that you're not having right now because you haven't poured the amount of money into it that you've poured into other sports. It's just the way it is. Just flat out.
Doesn't mean that mistakes haven't been made, or players haven't performed, or they've missed on players or whatever. But man, it makes the margin for error just so incredibly thin. And when you have the financial support, you're recruiting a different kind of player.
Yeah, I mean, look at
and it's easier to not miss.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Let's look at the facts. I mean, look at the football team.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. This is early Monday morning. Chuck, pace yourself. I've got a lot of stamina, man. I got extra rest this weekend. Well, not really. I mean, it was a busy weekend, but I'm full of vim and vigor, Jamie. I got plenty in the tank for all week long. The only thing Tadlock is a victim of is his own success. When the playing field was closer to level, Tadlock proved he's one of the best coaches in the nation. I assure you, if Tadlock was let go, there would be still teams lining up to hire him, especially programs with the NIL resources to invest in the best athletes. I think that's
louder for the people in the back.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well said. Without question. Somebody says this. Yep, that is probably the best answer I've read this morning. Don't try to be rational. This fan base is not always able to accept it. We get this communique from G.
I think probably most fan bases. I don't think we're probably any different than any others.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get one thing stuck in your head, and you don't. Facts and reality don't care.
Yeah,
you
right.
just want it to be what you think.
Yeah.
Now, all of that being said, I think we will all agree that this team has not played great baseball throughout the course of the year. They have had struggles in the pitching staff from the beginning of the season. Your offense has hit a nosedive the last few weeks. That doesn't give excuses for the entire program overall, but that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's unfortunate.
I would say with the struggles that you're having with the injuries to pitchers, that where you are should not be surprising, and the struggles you're having should not be surprising. You haven't had that many injuries in the hitting nine, and the way you're scoring right now, that's a surprise, and that's a major disappointment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
7:17 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Somebody says, Chuck, we don't want to hear about your love life. You're not going to hear about my love life, Marquise. I don't know why that came up.
Laura.
That came up. Yeah, it's I mean, it's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating, for the fans going, for the team, those close to the team, supporters of the team, the people on the team, within the team, all of that. The whole thing is frustrating. It's just the way it is, but it's unfortunate. You'll play Oklahoma tomorrow in Frisco. We'll have the game for you at 6 on Double T 97.3, and then Balls and Strikes at 6:30. And then the team will stay on the road to face Baylor this weekend in Waco. And so now you're just, trying to get enough wins, and because now you're at the bottom of the barrel. Not totally, but you're on the outside looking in of the Big 12 tournament. And, with Houston's behind you, and they obviously on a tiebreak over Texas Tech, and Arizona's just a game in front of you at 7-14. The Red Raiders are 6-15, but you've lost 7 in a row.
I don't even think at this point you're looking at that. Because if you keep playing baseball the way you're playing, whether you get into the Big 12 tournament or not doesn't matter. You're just going to go there and get massacred in the first round, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the way that you're playing right now.
Figure out how to play good baseball again. Yeah, and if you can't, be happy or not go into the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, and just reboot and start over.
Well,
that's all you can do, right?
Well, again, just getting into the Big 12 tournament just so you can get pounded is not some great accomplishment.
No.
Figure out how to play good baseball again. Now, if you got your way in by playing better down the stretch, even if you were the last team that got in, at least you could say, okay, hey, we're playing good baseball right now. We figured some things out. We're all in. Let's I'm not saying you would expect to make a run to win the thing, but you're like, hey, let's go out there and make some noise.
Yeah.
But right now you're not making any noise whatsoever. You're whimpering. So don't even look at the standings. Like, figure out how to play good baseball again. That's what it's about. It's one day. Figure out how to practice well today so you can play better on Tuesday in a non-conference game. Figure out how you can transfer that over to the weekend. Yeah, because, it felt like you played some good baseball during the midweek last week. And, I think the thing that frustrates me about the hitters is I think that part of it is just the mental beat down of always playing from behind. I think that continues. I think it's been that way for the last 2 years, the mental beat down. And there comes some mental toughness that I think early on in the season, this team showed great ability to play from behind. And that just has seemed to have gone away.
Just kind of get worn out with that.
One of the biggest problems I think with this team is not being able to hang zeros after you score. Because there's been so many times where you had a big inning or you've taken a lead or you got yourself back into a game and you've had some momentum and you just can't keep it because you're immediately giving up runs. You can't keep it, and you never have the ability in your home dugout or whichever dugout you're in the Red Raider dugout to just feel good about things. Like it, as a fan of any sport, like you feel differently watching your team when they're playing from out in front compared to when they're playing from behind, or you're anxious and you get a little more frustrated, but you're less frustrated if you're out in front by 2 touchdowns or whatever when a guy drops a pass. But when you're behind, it's like, oh, why do we have this guy? We should fire him. We cut him, trade him, whatever. And I just think it's the mental beatdown of having to play from behind so much that that just never has you feeling good about things, never has you relaxed, never has you going to the plate, and that obviously the injuries have factored into that. But I feel, as far as these 2 new pitching coaches go, they didn't have time to recruit, and just because of the way things worked out. And I think that you have to, if you're going to get a true assessment of them, you have to let them be able to do that. And so that's why it's hard to blame it on these 2 guys when they came with the cupboard that they had of guys, and I think there's some talented pitchers, but the problem is, again, you're starting and you're putting in key spots so many young guys. And, when you go into these weekends with starting freshmen and redshirt freshmen and sophomores and all of that, which, in years past, those guys cut their teeth pitching in midweeks and pitching out of the bullpen for an inning here or there. Now you're like, hey, you're our Saturday guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to live like that at this level. And so I think you clearly got to get older in the pitching staff. You've got to hit the portal hard to get pitchers in. But again, those are the guys that cost the most money. Those starting pitching cost the most money. So, and you can see why you haven't been able to be super successful bringing in portal starting pitching if you don't have the money to bring them in.
Yeah, the most, or even be competitive, where you can separate the difference a little bit.
But it still doesn't make me any less frustrated because I have higher expectations for what your offense should be able to do, doesn't make me any less disappointed in the fact that you've got 3 or 4 key guys that are uber talented that just the body language is not great right now. And I'm not saying anybody's quitting. I'm not suggesting that at all. I think they try. I just don't think they have a whole lot of confidence right now. And it's that vibe of, here we go again, and somewhat of a defeatist attitude. And that's disappointing. But then there are guys that are competing their butts off right now. Makes you super proud for them.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, our listening audience always does a great job chiming in and giving us thoughts and comments from our Yates Flooring Center chat line, and I'm going to use one today for today's question of the day. And the question is, which of the 9 players who got drafted do you think the fit is so good that they will have the best rookie season of the group? I know that takes knowing what teams have a little bit, so it makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is it was so defensive minded. It's like, okay, are we talking like sacks, quarterback hurries, forced fumbles, or
defensive tackle may be really good, but his numbers don't just pop.
Right, like a quarterback or a receiver or running back or something along those lines. I think David Bailey's going to be potentially a really good NFL player. I'm just worried about him going to the Jets just because the Jets have been just so terrible. Okay, I'm going to give you a sneaky one here because, and I was shocked that he went this high, but maybe him and Tua or whomever the quarterback is going to be with the Dolphins going down there would be just really good. But I'm going to say Caleb Douglas makes noise and stands out amongst the rookies, and that the players that the Dolphins have, because they're desperate for a receiver and somebody that can catch the ball and do it in deep portion now that they don't have Tyreek Hill on their team anymore. So I'm going to go with Caleb Douglas.
I thought Tua was with the Ravens now.
Did he get moved to did he get moved to the Ravens?
I'm pretty sure he's gone from the Dolphins.
Okay, well then whoever the quarterback is.
And Tyreek Hill is gone from Miami?
Yeah, I mean he's going to be gone. I think when it's all said and done, he may not have been released yet, but I don't think there's any way he's going back to Tua is with the Atlanta Falcons. So that's my bad there.
Yeah. So if he's catching passes from Tua,
playing some pretty good defense.
We switched Caleb from a wide receiver to a defensive back.
Okay, well, again, I missed. That's a miss.
Strike one. I couldn't remember what team he was on. I just know he wasn't there. I hadn't heard that about Tyreek Hill because it's funny, me with the 2 Red Raiders drafted there. I was like, I can almost root for the Dolphins now, except Tyreek Hill is there.
Well, I think when it's all...
I think he's still on the roster. I don't think they anticipate him being on the roster at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Kind of like A.J. Brown with the Eagles.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a done deal that he's already with the Patriots June 1.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, you're the Tyreek Hill expert, so I'm just going to assume that to be the right.
I'm not necessarily an expert, but certainly have more interest there.
Well, while Chuck looks at the roster of every NFL team, I'm going to go with Romello Height and the San Francisco 49ers. That's a good defense that I think he can slide into and really be a key member of it as he continues through his rookie year and has a chance to shine.
Okay. I like that one, Jeff. I think the low-hanging fruit here is David Bailey because he's going to play a bunch.
Yeah, but it's the Jets.
Well, I mean, what do we... The question wasn't who do you think is going to win the most games.
Yeah.
No, but the success that the team has does help what the player does as well.
I agree.
There's not a lot of talent on the Jets to help him.
Well, which means he's going to play a bunch and get a chance to shine. Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that the answer here is not David Bailey. I don't want to answer that because I think it's so boring. Easy, it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's and the number 2 pick in the draft. They're going to expect him to come in and play a bunch, and I think he is because he's really, really talented. I guess the guy that for me that I look at here is I just think. Again, I think Lee Hunter could have gone earlier in this draft. I think he is going to be a terrific NFL player. I think his numbers may not, again, pop because he's a defensive tackle and 50% of their job is to just take on offensive linemen so linebackers behind them can make plays. But I think Lee Hunter is going to have a really good career with the Panthers, and hopefully that gets off to a good start in his first season. I also love, for many different reasons, Cole Wisniewski going to the Eagles because they have just lost one of their safeties. And I think Cole will immediately be a help to them in special teams. And I think he'll get the chance to play because I think he's an undervalued player. I think he fits what they do defensively with the Eagles. And I really think that's a good fit. But I'm not ready to say that he's going to outplay, guys that are taken in the second round at this point.
Okay. Tyreek basically has been released by the Miami Dolphins.
He has been, or he basically has been.
Well, what I see is that he's been released, or reports of him being released. I just don't know if it's official with regard to the NFL year.
Was there hope? Maybe there's a possibility of a reunion.
There is a possibility of a reunion.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Apparently, this story from.
That'll make headlines. Everybody will be talking about that.
He might be in line for a reunion with the Chiefs.
Yeah, every sideline girl in every NFL game is going to be over there talking about how
he's not expected to be a part of the Dolphins' plans in 26.
He's back with the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, good for the Dolphins.
Yeah. So he had that. Just terrible injury. I wouldn't wish that injury on anybody, but at any rate.
If there was someone, it'd be him.
According to Google, Tyreek Hill is a free agent. Okay. Literally or figuratively released by Miami. Well, it's just with regard to I didn't know how it was going to fit with the NFL year in terms of, the cap and all that and dead money and all. It's so.
It sounds like it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lee Hunter got some agreement with what you're saying there. I
think he's going to be a terrific NFL player. I really do.
Yeah.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Nice to have you with us today here on the Morning Drive. Y'all short sold the total number of Red Raiders and free agent signings on Friday. Yeah, no, we're listen, man.
Guys, Upon Further Review comes up next. We'll see all the reasons we're wrong. Give us a minute.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that one. We got more wrong coming.
Right.
It's coming. I
Right.
promise.
I mean, are you new?
And then there's bold statements where we were really wrong.
Yeah, I mean, are you new to this show? I mean, come on.
Let us get something wrong here now. That'll be fun.
We get stuff right occasionally. At least
say that out loud
At least
again.
we're smarter than Rob Bro, who continues to make bets and then has to pay them off. I mean, he's going to walk in here looking like a Kiss guy today because he lost a season-long bet. So we're smart enough not to do that, aren't we?
We're not smart enough to lose bets. We're smart enough to
Not put anything on them.
Yeah, face paint on the tiny wheel.
Yeah.
We don't do tiny wheels.
Yeah, we don't do tiny wheels. Sergeant K9 says this: sharpened my shooting skills buying cigarettes for my dad. I'd buy BBs with the leftover money. Wow, I'd say that was a pretty good investment. Because he turned out to be pretty good, that old Sergeant K9. It's good to have him back being kind of a regular participant on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I feel like he's been more regular here lately.
That's good.
So it makes me feel like that we're doing something right.
We all want to be regular.
Yes. This interesting that the Dallas Cowboys didn't draft a defensive player from Tech, since several Tech guys were mentioned possibly going to the Cowboys. Maybe just didn't work out.
Yeah, disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, just
Just because you'd love to see the Red Raiders on the team that so many people around these parts root for.
Sure. This guy, Pete Prisco, gave your Buffalo Bills a B-, Jamie, in terms of the draft trade grades. He said, 4th-round receiver Skylar Bell isn't a big receiver, but he gets separation and should push for time as a rookie. He did have some trouble with drops, but he's a good player. Worst pick, and he did say this is based on personal preference. He would have taken R. Mason Thomas over T.J. Parker, who the Bills took in the second. He fits better in my book. Okay. Let's see. What did he say about...
Nobody cares about the Bills draft grades, Chuck.
I know, but I was just doing that for you. How about the Houston Texans?
We don't do the show for me.
Do you think people care about the Houston Texans?
Yes, that would make more sense.
They said B is what he said. Best pick, it was their first one. Guard Keelan Rutledge. Most will say he was overdrafted, but I love the way he played. He will add toughness to a line that needed help inside. I didn't like the pick of Marlon Klein in the second, tight end. There were better tight end options on the board. Okay. The skinny, he says, by taking Rutledge and defensive tackle Caden McDonald with their first 2 picks, the Texans got better on both lines. They got meaner too. 5th-round safety Kamari Ramsey is an interesting player as well. Do you think people care about the Chiefs? By and large, or no? Or does it just care about Patrick Mahomes?
I think there are some Chiefs, way more Chiefs fans in our area than Bills fans.
Okay, they gave the Chiefs an A+. Okay.
Of course.
Of course they did.
That's good.
They did pick up that corner that the Cowboys were thought to have been interested in, Mansour Dulane, because the Chiefs traded up to get him. So anyway, so that gives you kind of a little bit of, and we'll see how this all pans out, over the next few years. I mean, that's the thing about the draft is that, in some cases it may take years to really get a kind of a feel for how, unless somebody just comes out and does something blockbuster, in the very beginning. 8:19 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Jamie, I thought this was interesting. We've talked about this from time to time, but this is in regards to the 5 for 5 with regard to college basketball. Craig Robinson, who is the executive director of the National Association of Basketball Coaches, said last week that communication with coaches about the proposed timing of the 5 for 5 eligibility proposal that could alter college sports is non-negotiable. The head of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, has pushed the idea of giving all athletes 5 years of eligibility over 5 years, beginning with high school graduation. Well, there's a ton of guys and gals that are waiting for this to come to be. And so this could be voted on next month and implemented as early as June, which means that college basketball players who are seniors this year may get another year of eligibility to play, which is problematic because teams are trying to finalize their rosters, including the one here, right? Does it just make your head hurt?
It's just so funny. So what about the guys that graduated a year ago?
Well, they're going to sue to get their year.
That have been gone for a year.
Yeah.
Why don't they get to go? You put a rule in place, and it's the rule moving forward.
That's what it should be.
Right?
Yes. That's what it should be.
We shouldn't be backtracking. Why is this so difficult, man?
I don't know.
What in the world happened to us?
I don't know. We've gone from just wanting soft ice cream all the time.
Man.
But yeah, so
moving forward, this is the new rule.
Yeah. Why? Like, you had that like when you were a kid and like probably with your kids going, okay, like if something got, something kind of fell through the cracks and you had to say, okay, moving forward, this is what we're going to do, right?
Yes.
Moving forward, this is the new rule. Okay,
that works for us. We all heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it stink for the guys that are 1 year too late? Yes. It's like I tell Choice all the time now that my kids are out of playing high school athletics, and Joyce is the friendship dad like I am, and I'm like, man, you guys in this new district, you're not going to have to travel to Midland and Odessa and San Angelo all the time like we had to. Man, that's great for you guys. Man, I wish it happened a few years earlier for us, but nobody's going back and changing it.
Yeah, right.
Moving forward. That's the new district, we're not changing. Oh, you're playing in 5A. Oh, well, all the friendship sports get to go back and play in 5A.
Now.
We're going to redo all those games now that they lost in the playoffs in 6A. Moving forward, why are we bringing back guys that are done?
It's like instant replay, Okay, so we're going to go back and replay the 1979 AFC Championship game so that the Oilers can have a touchdown called for them like it should have been, and then moving forward, we'll play from that spot moving forward.
Are any of the Lady Raiders affected by this? You had so many seniors on the team.
Bailey Maupin would be one. Snudda Collins would be one.
There you go. Well, she's had 5, right? Because she took a year off.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she's had 5, but Bailey would be I think Bailey would be the main one. And frankly, I don't know if she would want to play another year or not. I'm sure they would love to have her, right? Who wouldn't? I just don't know if she's ready to kind of move on to her next.
Well, she got picked up in the WNBA.
But she's already been released.
Already been released?
Yeah.
I had not seen that yet.
Yeah, it was short-lived or lived, however you say that.
That would be lived.
I'm a short-lived person, but that doesn't probably surprise you.
Well, I told you we'd be wrong on something in this segment.
8:25. We got a lot wrong with Upon Further Review. It had to go to a tiebreaker because we were so bad. Hi, Chihuahua. All right.
That's not how tiebreakers work, Chuck. Tiebreakers break a tie. Doesn't matter if you're good or bad.
Okay.
If it was nothing, and we went to the tiebreaker, then we needed the tiebreaker so we had something to score.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.